Welcome to Accra Power Platform User Groups, our yearly Global Power Platform Bootcamp 2023. We mostly do it virtually since the COVID hit, and this is the first time after 2 years we are having this again in person. And we hope your friends and all those you've invited are on their way coming, right? All right, so our speakers are also in. Volunteers are in. And our keynote speakers who are in as well. All right, so quickly I would like to invite Mr. Boadi, who is the library, who is with the library, ATU Library, actually, to give us the ATU keynote address from the ATU Library.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So I'm giving the address on behalf of the Vice Chancellor. He is supposed to be here, but other engagements are taking his attention. Though, as you can see, the matriculation is ongoing there, and it is imperative that he attends that matriculation because it's a ritual, and by his position, he cannot miss that. But also, I bring you greetings from the University Librarian, Dr. Florence Blocky, at whose behest this program is being organized in collaboration with TICCAP. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here. She's currently engaged elsewhere. Dr. Blocky is very much enthused about technology-driven events of this nature, which seeks to empower, especially the youth, to become relevant in this era of the fourth industrial revolution. Indeed, as an information professional, she's very much aware of the all-important role that data, or for that matter, data that is manipulated to give very insightful information, is playing in the success of organizations regardless of their size and area of focus. So she sees this event as very necessary and timely. And this is the second in a row Microsoft event, that ATU Library has hosted. And she's much enthused and pleased that the Microsoft user group leaders have found in the library a worthy partner to bring another event to this campus. She says thank you. She says to welcome you all to this event. So we know that Prof. as I read his speech, he is an engineer and a professor, and his name is Professor Amevi Akakofi. He is a young professor and very much tech savvy. And so, as a young professor who is very much into tech, you should know that he is very much enthusiastic about this program, and he's very much interested in the number of students who are here. He thinks that as students of ATU, we should take advantage of this as it is coming here. So before I read this speech, I would like to find out how many students are here from ATU. How many people are here from ATU? Okay, quite encouraging, but at least this room should be filled, because something of this nature coming here, we have to take advantage of it. Now, we cannot do anything without data. And if you have applications that will help us use data in very meaningful ways, and as students, you can have this advantage now before we even go into the work environment. You should be able to take advantage of it. And so, it's unfortunate that this place is not filled up, but hopefully before we end, the place will be filled up. So I read the Pro Vice Chancellor's speech as given to me. So, I salute the Microsoft user groups, their leaders, and all protocols observed, everybody here present. Microsoft Power Platform is a no-code platform for rapidly building customized end-to-end business solutions. It consists of 5 product areas: Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Virtual Agents, and Power Pages. Each area can be used individually or together. United by the underlying Microsoft Dataverse technology, all areas are designed for a connected experience to achieve your business goals, whether it's creating analytics, process automation, or data-driven productivity applications. The platform's low-code approach enables everyone in an organization, from frontline workers to professional developers, to participate in the development of business solutions that drive positive business outcomes. Developers can collaborate with citizen developers to enhance business solutions and solve complex requirements by using the platform's various extension capabilities with code. As a developer, interacting with the platform, it's important to understand the basics of what the platform offers. It is further important to undertake some skill training and certification with Microsoft to acquire necessary skills for application development. So for us at ATU, it is a great joy to be part of this all-important AI and data-driven initiative as part of our efforts in the fourth industrial revolution. We have already underscored a number of initiatives in this area, including the DigiCap program. And you know, DigiCap is a partner to this particular event. For those who don't know about DigiCap, it is a 3-year GIZ-funded project which seeks to train students in a number of practice-oriented ICT areas to certify them and to prepare them for entrepreneurship and employment. Thus, this objective of the Microsoft Power Bootcamp this objective aligns with the objectives of DigiCap. Other initiatives of ATU includes the development and accreditation of new programs like the cybersecurity program, computer science, etc., where you take advantage of these tools in the studies. So please take time to visit our website and discover the numerous innovations and programs we are currently running to make your choice. You may also consider partnering with us on multiple fronts to run short programs or Microsoft certification programs wherever necessary. So this goes to the leaders in provinces calling for partnership in any way to train and certify students as you deem fit. So that is to you. You may also consider partnering with us on multiple fronts to run short programs or Microsoft certification programs wherever necessary. We welcome you in advance. I wish you all well and believe the presenters will do a good job. Do have an excellent event. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Our next keynote speaker, before the main keynote speaker, he wasn't in then, but due to the matriculation that was ongoing. So I would like to invite Dr. Nanaya Asabre. Yes, Dr. Nanaya Asabre, lead for ATU Library.
All right, I'm honored to give this keynote address for this particular program. That is the Power Platform Bootcamp. The issue about the bootcamp is this current world of technology, which is Microsoft, which falls on issues about Microsoft. There's a single rule in place. So when you look at Microsoft technology, we have the issue of our operating system. There's an issue about Microsoft Office too as well. Microsoft Corporation is a big family. So in terms of software usage, in terms of computer usage, in terms of us using computers efficiently, there are certain components that we have to use. So when you hear about Microsoft, as you hear a lot today, it's mainly about the usage of computers in terms of the software that we use. So the operating system can be Microsoft Windows, which started in 1995. Microsoft Office, which most of you know, started in the year 2000 or the 2000s. And it has evolved from that time. So we have Windows 95 moving on up to what we have now as Windows 11. And quite recently, Microsoft Office to current version is Office 2021. Now these are important packages that we have to use as professionals, as students now and the professionals in the future. So the Microsoft Azure as well is also different, and that one basically has to do with cloud services and big data centers in terms of the operation. But the reason why we are here today is about what we call Microsoft Power Platform. The Microsoft Power Platform was initially released in the year 2018, and is a suite of tools that helps business and organizations automate processes and then analyze data and create custom applications as well. Now it includes Power Apps. It also includes Power BI, we have Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents. So when you look at the Power Platform, it has all of these within. Now each of these tools is designed to work together seamlessly and allow users to build end-to-end solutions that address specific business needs. So what is specific to you? Why do you need a particular Power Platform? Looking at what has been mentioned, I'll give one example. So when you look at the Power BI, the Power BI is an advancement of Microsoft Excel. Everybody here should be able to use Microsoft Excel. You don't have to be in computer science, wherever you find yourself. The Microsoft Office packages, you have to use them. Just that there are some that in particular, it pertains to your profession that you have to use. So if you look at Microsoft Excel, the Power BI is an advancement of that. Advancement means that it has propelled and it has more features and it's better in that regard. So the Power BI normally looks at data analytics, it looks at visualization too as well. And then it enables users to collect data. And then various forms or various sources too as well. It can analyze data, it can also visualize data. And then you can create charts from it, in addition to graphs and other forms of visual aids. So when you pick only the Power BI, all of these things can be done. Now, as a professional or as a student now, by all means, if you want to be competitive, you have to know how to use these softwares and use them well. The Power BI can help organizations identify trends. It can make data-driven decisions as well, and then can also share some insights with it as well. So, we have guests at ATU today. Our guests are here to throw more light on the other products in the Microsoft Power Platform, which is global, of course. And it is important that we listen to them attentively. It is important that we know how these platforms work, how they apply to our profession. All of us are students, and some of us, yes, we are also lecturers as well, that we have to learn how to teach with them, and then how to apply them in different professions as well. If you want to be innovative, you have to also be creative. And then in order to be innovative for your future profession, there are certain things that you have to know. That is why in ATU we have integrity, creativity, and excellence as our motto. And based on that, we have to be able to achieve some of these things. Now, of course, as with any form of technology, there are advantages and disadvantages. No two ways about that. If you are using Microsoft Power Platform, you have advantages and disadvantages. As for advantages, there are many. So it is easy to use once you know how to use a Microsoft product and you are computer literate and you have ICT to a certain level to be able to use it. You don't need programming experience. Those people computing, computer science understand programming. The procedure through which the software is developed is what we call programming. And you may not have to have that experience to be able to use a Microsoft Power Platform. If you know how to use a Microsoft product, you'll be able to use the Microsoft Power Platform as well. We have different Microsoft products. So Office 365, which all of you know. We also have the SharePoint as well. If you know how to use Microsoft Office, it's a plus. So once you know how the product works, or you've used a particular product before, you'll be able to do it and you'll be able to share. But some disadvantages may be its complication in terms of using it at an enterprise level. But even that, I will leave it to our guests who will be speaking to you today. Now let me move on to ATU as a university. As a university, we are mandated to provide hands-on practical training. So we, by the Technical University Act at 922, that is what we're supposed to do. When you attend ATU as a student, and if you are a lecturer, it means that everything that we do is practice-oriented and is hands-on. And we have a pillar in our strategic plan called Pillar 2. And Pillar 2 is about impact-oriented research and innovation that involves what we call ICT and entrepreneurship as well. And Pillar 1 also looks at enhancing students' experience. So how do we enhance students' experience? We have to collaborate with academia, and we have to also collaborate with industry to be able to do that enhancement. So when you look at ATU's academic philosophy, if many of you didn't know, this is our academic philosophy. It is ICT and entrepreneurship for employability and job creation. That is the academic philosophy of ATU. And because we have this philosophy, it means that for our students, for our programs, for our lectures, anything that we do has to have some element of ICT in it, has to also have an element of entrepreneurship in it. It's very, very important. That is why we have partnerships with certain associations and professional bodies. So currently, ATU has a partnership with a German organization called AFOS Foundation. AFOS Foundation is collaborating with us, and they are helping us deliver what we call digital capacity training in data science and business intelligence, which is very, very consistent and in line with what is going to happen today. There's an ICT Flex Lab in the ICT building, and we have some 40 laptops there. It's a room that training goes on in data science and business intelligence. So there are boot camps also similar to this that have been run in the past. And this event is very, very important and has coincided with it. So I urge all of you to understand, try your best to understand what will happen from today. Now, the question is, why is the Microsoft Power Platform important for academia, important for entire universities, but also important for industry? Industry is the key for everything. If you learn with ATU and you go to the professional world and you are not able to deliver, whatever you've done here becomes zero. So whatever we do in ATU has to be in line. If a company is using any of these platforms, then it means that you have to be abreast of what is happening. So that when you get to the workplace, when you get to the job market, you'll be able to do that. So Microsoft Office alone may not be enough, depending on the company that you're going with, especially if it's an advanced company that is using current digital tools for their activities. So the creation of custom applications and all that will help. Now, the Microsoft Power Platform normally helps students for careers in technology and business, and it's becoming an increasingly important tool in the workplace as well. So it means that if a workplace is not adopting this, we are behind. Globally, it's there, but in Ghana it requires this, but it will come up. And for you to fit into industry, it means you need to learn some of these tools. So by learning how to use the Power Platform, students can gain valuable skills that will be useful in a wide range of industries too as well. Now it is expected that ATU graduate students are always technology inclined and should be able to meet the current high demands of ICT. ICT is very dynamic. A lot of things change so many times. So if you are not in line to be able to compete, and it's not only for IT professionals. If you are an end user of computing, you have to also be abreast with some of these things. So that is also quite important. Across all our faculties, which embodies science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, that we turn STEM, it is important that we know how to use some of these current trends, be able to engage in them. It's very, very important. So to be an effective software user, to be an effective software developer, it is always important that you have these trends in mind to be able to cope with what goes on in society. So in conclusion, the Microsoft Power Platform is a very powerful suite of tools that can help businesses and organizations to be very competitive. The only way a business and organization can be competitive is when the people that work with the business understand how to use the tools such as these. So the business organization cannot go on if the people within are not able to understand what software are required for some of these things to work. Now, it is important that we look at this Power Platform and the disadvantages that it brings to the technical university. I've already mentioned the hands-on issues about creativity, integrity, and excellence involved. That is what ATU stands for. So if we have such an opportunity, it means that we have to be able to look at what digital innovation comes with these tools, and then we'll be able to understand them very well as well. That is what will enable you to achieve your goals. There are a lot of things that you will learn in ATU in your curriculum, but the most important thing is when you get out to society, what is going to beat you for you to be able to compete. So if one person knows how to use this platform and then you don't, that person gets the job and then you don't get it. That is why we are trying to make sure that will not happen. So I leave you with one quote that you should always remember from the famous footballer Pele. And then I quote, "Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, the love of what you are doing or learning to do." So if you want to be successful, you always have to persevere. If you want to be successful, you always have to be determined. If you want to be successful, you always have to be innovative. And then you always have to look at things that will make you worthwhile. Whatever the case may be, there will always be a sacrifice. A sacrifice in the sense that you came to ATU for your HND or BTEC program. But this one is something which is extra. So you have to sacrifice energy and time to be able to do that. I encourage all of you to pay attention to our speakers for today, to ask questions that are important to you. And after everything, we continue further learn. And based on that, if you can even learn one product out of the Microsoft Power Platform, which is global, it's very, very important. Once you learn one, you move on to the next. It's like Microsoft Office. You learn how to use Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and all of that. It's the same situation. So thank you very much, and you are all.
Yes, let's warm up with the crowd.
Hello. Good morning. I can see a couple of faces, familiar faces and unfamiliar faces. I want to say a big thank you to our previous speaker. Welcome to the 2023 edition of the Mobile Power Platform Bootcamp. My name is Samuel Akrani. I'm one of the organizers and founders of the Accra Power Platform User Groups. Today we are here as part of an annual program to share with you a lot about the Microsoft Power Platform. Now, what you're going to expect in today's session is going to be different sessions, different presentations and demos on the Microsoft Power Platform. I think our previous speakers have alluded to what the Microsoft Power Platform is. I would want to speak about more from the high level about the user group, what the Global Power Platform Bootcamp is, and what to expect. So on the user group perspective, we've been around since I think 2019. That's when the Accra Power Platform User Group was created. Now, it is part of the official user groups across the world. So all across the world, there are similar user groups like ours, but we are the official Power Platform User Group in Accra or Ghana specific to say. Now, the user group is primarily a community to put together enthusiasts, hobbyists, professionals, people that want to learn about the Power Platform and how to leverage it, whether be it in your work, your personal project, or just curious about learning. So the community stands for coming together. We have our motto, which is to learn, share, and grow. So we learn together, we share together, and we grow together. We have a lot of fantastic users in the group. Those using Power Platform officially in their work, those that are just building solutions on top of it, and those that are in to learn. We used to have in-person meetings once a month until COVID hit. Then we were having our meetings at former NIT, now Open Class. Until COVID hit, we transitioned to virtual. So two things are going to happen after today's bootcamp. That will be one, to provide you access to joining the official Accra Power Platform User Group WhatsApp group, and then also to get informed about our subsequent monthly virtual meetups, and then also in-person meetups. So that is it about the user group. You would see QR codes probably pasted as we move on to how to join the WhatsApp group. Just scan it and join the WhatsApp group, and you're going to get a lot of benefits from that. Now, onto the Global Power Platform Bootcamp. This started, I think, somewhere way back in 2020. That's when it started. And as of yesterday, just because different time zones, 24, 3 were different time zones, other user groups have already started. Some people have already finished the bootcamp. So it's going to go across. Now, it's a global event supported and organized by Microsoft, which we are supposed to throw more light on the Microsoft Power Platform, the different ways of the Power Platform, share demos, share labs for you to learn and understand what the Power Platform can do, and also to bring the community together to share, that experience. The platform continues to evolve year after year. So the Global Bootcamp is a way to let you know what's new in the Power Platform, what's happening in that ecosystem, what are the collaborations that are happening. If you've been following it, you realize that it has evolved. The last time we did it, there was no, there was a particular service that was not included, but as of now, that has been included. So, if you would, if your attention would go on the screen for me, now I'm going to introduce you, or just talk briefly about the Microsoft Power Platform from, a bird's eye view, high level. So the Microsoft Power Platform, we want to call it the world's most complete integrated low-code development platform. Now, if you don't understand what low-code is, not everybody has the aptitude and capacity to be programming, right? But those that have ventured into the areas of programming, you understand and agree with me that it's not for the faint-hearted, right? But people have done it, so you can also do it. But despite that, sometimes you just need a way to what we call rapid prototyping. You want to rapidly build something and not worry so much about am I using Java, am I using C#, am I using JavaScript, am I using Python? There's no code wars, alright? Most times you have the concept of what you want to do in your head. And you don't want to battle with what programming language you go and learn to make it happen, right? So the low-code revolution, it's kind of, let's say, a phenomenal approach that's been adopted by major tech companies to allow for people to easily develop solutions without having to write technically a lot of crazy code, right? So that's what we call the low-code revolution. Now, in the era of digital transformation, when you want to move your business and power your business through technology, it is a must that you iterate fast, right? There's a common saying that says that if you have to fail fast. If you have to try something and figure out if it's working or not, you need to do that fast, figure out it's not working, and do what works, right? So the low-code revolution plays a key role in the digital transformation era. And that is where the Microsoft ecosystem comes in, right? So Power Platform is a suite of products, just like the way you have Microsoft, for the lack of better explanation, Office, right? Where you have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, and all those things, right? So the Microsoft Power Platform is also a suite of products. Leading the charge is what we call Power Apps, right? Now, this allows you to build web standard, mobile, tablet application rapidly without having to write series of programming, codes. If you know how to do Excel, primarily, you're good to go, which you're going to see in some demonstrations and then also in the breakout sessions. You see how easy it is to put, once you have an idea in your mind, you see how to put components together to get, the app running. Now, second in the suite is what we call Power Automate, which is on business process workflows and automation. Have you wondered how sometimes, let's say you want to create an automation where if you receive an email from, let's say, a potential customer, right? You want to extract certain key information about that customer, let's say their email, their phone number, whatever information there is in that email, right? And then store it in a database somewhere and do some kind of processing with it, right? Or when you receive an invoice from a potential vendor, you want to extract all the contents of that invoice and start, let's say, a payment process or something, that automation. Or you want to say that if you're running a business and you want to know how people feel about your product, if people go on social media, say Facebook, Twitter, and tweet anything bad or good about your brand and hashtag you want to automatically pick that tweet, run some analysis and figure out what's happening. Are people liking our tweets or liking our product on the social media market space or not? Now, that is something you can do and achieve with Power Automate, right? In a no-code or no-code approach. So we don't just say no-code, we say what? No code or no code, which means that you might not write any code or you might write bare or minimum code. Now, the next part is what we call the Power Virtual Agent. Sometimes I'm sure you all want to write bots, Telegram bots, chat bots, but then the daunting task of how do I maybe start, right? Power Virtual Agent allows you to build it with as simple as drag and drop, put in some, few things, and you have your chatbot running. Now, this is the new kid that has joined the family called Power Pages. Now, you want to build some rich websites, right? To sit on top of your data. Now, this is where Power Pages is coming. Again, it's simple drag and drop. If you use any drag and drop website builder, Wix, all those, right? It's almost in the line of that. And finally, there's Power BI. Power BI, which we have, I think we have the MVP of Power BI here, first of all, yeah. So he's the MVP when it comes to business application and business intelligence. So that's one of the advantages of being part of the Power Platform Group. Most of us speaking here are Microsoft Value professionals. We have AI who is here, Shabak himself, business applications. We have business analytics, also Fescos. So we pretty much have command of what we're sharing. That is the advantage of our user group. Now, Power BI allows you to do business intelligence analytics, right? Some of it even is, what we call natural language process queries or natural language queries, where you can actually ask the Power BI dashboard, what is my projection for the next 6 months? And we use AI to tell you, based on the numbers you have, this is what your projection is looking at. So, all these things are part of the Microsoft Power Platform ecosystem. And today, you're going to see how most of these things work. Now, these things don't work in isolation, right? You can connect other data sources to it. By default, the Power Platform itself has over 300 connectors. So today, if I want to build an app or build automation, and I want to send an SMS, I want to connect to a database, all those things have been pre-made for you. You don't need to write the code. You're not now going to look for SDK, you're not going to look for APIs to do all that. All that is taken care for you. Now, beneath all this Microsoft Intelligence is what we call the AI Builder. Now, AI Builder allows you to do or build AI-powered functionalities. I talk about form processing. We have demos that will show you how to just build a simple Power Apps that you can use to scan your Ghana driver's license or passport, and it will extract all the data and do whatever you want it to do. All powered by the AI Builder. You can actually build an invoice processing system simply by using the AI Builder. It's able to identify all the data points on an invoice, extract them, and do whatever you want to do. Then there's a Microsoft database, which you would want to say is Microsoft, or what says Microsoft SQL Server or database on steroids. This is the data source that powers almost everything on the Power Platform. Then there is PowerFX, which is what you want to call something like your Excel formulas that allow you to write formulas or logic for your application. All these things are in an environment that is managed. And today, as your keynote speaker, I want to introduce you to all these things and then leave you in the able hands of all our speakers and facilitators who are going to take you through different demos on how to use it. But I encourage you to take advantage of joining the user group, connecting with us, connecting with the users, learning more. The world is moving into a pace where if you don't have digital skills, you will not be employable. You should know that by now, the people that haven't finished school years and years, probably sitting home and are not employable because they've not added any digital skills. Most of the things you're seeing here are employable skills. Today, if you're able to learn how to do it, now all of these things are specialties on their own. Being able to learn one of these things, and it's a low entry barrier. You don't need to be a programmer, right, to do that. Once you're able to do this, trust me, it adds value to what you're learning here or wherever you're learning in. It makes you more employable, it makes you a more valuable asset in your company. So, without much ado, I'm mandated by the Power SSTD as a global keynote speaker to share with you a welcome message from all our MVPs, from all our MVPs and other players from around the world. And welcome to the Global Power Platform 2023. Thank you. Let's watch this.
So this is the appointment tab. So here you can book your appointment, whether from the general clinic, the diagnostics, or specialist. So with the general clinic, when I click on it, it opens the general clinic appointment where I can book. So I can choose school medicals, or I think there are 3 general. So we'll choose school medicals. The date we use today's date. The time we are going to choose 8:30, and then we book. Now once you book, it gets saved in a database, and then a Power Automate flow will handle the rest. We are going to learn more about that later in the event. So same applies with diagnostics. You book an appointment, you select a time, and then you book. Okay, specialist, same. So let's say general surgery, choose a time, and then we book. So this is the appointments tab where we book appointments. Now the pharmacy tab, we can order for first aid kits, we can order for drugs, and also prescriptions. Right, so for the first aid kit, when we click, we get to choose the size of the first aid kit that we want. So we want medium, quantity we want 60, location New York. Okay, delivery mode, we'll pick it up ourselves. Okay, we'll go to New York, and then we place our order. So it's going to save in a database, and then Power Automate will take care of the rest.
So thank you very much. I am Prince Akimado. So I'll move forward to introduce myself. So I am again Prince Akimado. I'm a recent Microsoft Gold Student Ambassador, and also a final year student here and all that. And I'm a front-end web developer, and you can find me on the social media platform. So let me go straight to the next slide. Okay, so for the next slide, I'm building an approval flow using email with options. You know, Microsoft Power Automate has a connector for approvals. But what I wanted to achieve, the people I wanted to use the flow, the people who will be using the flow are outside the Microsoft 365. So I was looking for ways for people to use, able to use it without being an Office 365. So I decided to use email with options. Right, so we all know what approval is, and we'll be doing approvals using emails. All right, so let me jump straight into Power Automate itself. So I'll come here. So this is the home page for Power Automate, and I'll jump straight into the slide. So the flow. So this is the backend for the flow, where you can see, you can customize it, make some modifications, and once you come here, you can see the number of runs, the flow has run and all that, the history and all that. So I'll click on edit, and if, the connections, you can see the type of connections we have, because you can't build a flow with just one connector. We need one or more connections to make a flow. Yeah, so I'll click on edit. Over to you.
I think you guys should clap for me now. My name is Paul. I'm really excited to meet you. I know my computer is going to have study, so I'll also be funny a bit, so we can have some meetings there. So I work with a company called C-Crash. Basically, what we do is to help with participants. You know, I graduated from school, made some cool MCs and 900 CDs. I never got the 599, because I never liked that government pay 599. So I always make sure to upgrade my knowledge before I start talking actually, Chandra, it's 45, eh? I have 20 minutes, right? Yeah. All right, sure. So, I always make sure I upgraded my knowledge so that I can earn big money, right? I hated the idea of pipeline. And so when I was done with school, I was approached by different organizations, but most importantly, I picked up one from Effect Studios. Who knows about Effect Studios? So Effect Studios is a tech company. We build products and stuff like that for clients. And from there, I think my pay was around like 1,000, something like that. And then I left Effect Studios. I went to pick up another opportunity. My salary was around 1,200, and I picked up another one. It was around 1,700. I picked up another. It was around like 3,000 something. And as I kept growing in my career, I started earning money over 10,000, right? Which was really cool to see someone, move from the hundreds all the way to like many zeros, attached to his salary. But one thing that I didn't do well was to spend the money on, right? So until you have $1,000, don't be giving so much advice to people. Yeah, like someone tells me that I should buy a car, and I'm like, do you have $1,000? That you can't touch, like it's emergency, it's just there, so that when you are working and you are bargaining with people, you are not settling for 100 cities, 300 cities, right? So you need to prioritize, making money. Making money is very important, that's what keeps us going. And so one thing that I realized was that I needed to know where each and every money that I spend goes, right? That way I became conscious of how I spend my money. And so I went to buy a headset for a company, and then they sold it to me at 2,600. And then I went to another company and I saw the same headset and it was 1,400. So I had lost about 1,100. Maybe because I had a lot of money, so it wasn't really an issue. Until I realized that these people cheated me with 1,001. And I've never forgotten that story. I'm even telling you today, right? And so one of the cool things you need to know is that as you earn money and you want to make wealth, you need to become very conscious of where each and every money goes. So you don't end up becoming like one of the aunties and uncles at home where you say, I mean, auntie, no, we scap on, but it's here, Yeah, so my company does that. We build expense tracking in a way that it's fast and easy to use. I mean, I've tried about 10 different expense tracking apps. They suck. Mine is better. So yeah, I think that's what my company does. And more so, I also work with various companies. I'll be happy to interact with many of you, get you to use my product, try it out, it's free. But yeah, there's no freelance, right? So I'll find a way of making money for you. Yeah. So a very quick one. I've worked in different companies. A software engineer, a chief technology officer. I've worked as a leader for various people and stuff like that. And one of the things I realized was that as much as I hated low code, it was so important, right? For example, I had 3 engineers who were working when I was a software engineer. A chief technology officer. They were my engineers, and I needed to allocate resources to them, right? So that we'll be able to constantly shape the product of the company. And one of the things that we actually noticed was that, the marketing team and all the other teams keep demanding features, right? They wanted to build stuff. They go and see something from somewhere, and then they just tell you, hey, that we want the same thing, right? And so I didn't want to bother my 3 engineers. I can't kill them. I wanted them to have a life, right? After work, they should have a life. And so I sometimes have to step in and then get the work done for them, right? So that they can still focus on our product roadmap, things that we are building that are very important for the company, whilst I use some of the local tools to just automate the process and get things done. So One of the ways is to improve the processes. For example, who is an engineer here, software engineer? Okay, so with software engineers, product managers, we have tools that they use to manage how we do it, right? So we have a tool like Asana, ClickUp, and then we have one like Linear, right? Now, everyone in the company got to a time where they wanted to request a feature. Everyone, literally. From marketing to operations, someone is just there, he thinks of some nonsense, he wants to bring it up, you know? And we made the company that transparent so that everyone feel heard. Now, the way for them to get to me, you know, bring the whatever they have, the idea up, and me recording it and attending to it, you know, became, you know, scattered all around the place. And so we had to build quick processes in place so that we can help these people. And so we picked up one particular low-code tool called Zapier. Who knows Zapier? So you can write it down. I think it's Z-A-P-E-I-A-H, something like that. But we picked up Zapier. What we did was that when anyone in the organization, we set up like support at thecompany.com, and so anyone could just message support, right? Email support. Once you email support, we pick up, we listen, we created an event, right? That listens to the email that came in. So once we get the email, we create an issue. What we call issue is just basically like a feature request, right? We create a sentence saying that, okay, Dawood said that he wants this particular feature implemented, right? So it automatically will get assigned to me, and once it's assigned to me, I can review it, and then I'll be like, okay, yes, we get this thing, but it can't be built, or it will be built next year, something like that, right? And so everyone in the company, one way or the other, wants to automate something. You know, the processes that they are involved in, it has to be, you know, improved. And I really wanted to share this experience with you because these are like real life. It's not like I'm just thinking about it and telling you how it should be used or something like that, right? And Power Automate is very good at doing this. Build your custom flows, and then let it listen to any email that comes in. You know, create an issue in either your Linear, your ClickUp, or something like that, and then, you know, give another feedback to the user that, hey, Dawood has, you know, received your issue, what you said you wanted built in the company, and it's in process. The next one, yeah, so the same things. So another thing that you would want to know is that sometimes you just want to build fast, right? You want to be agile, and you can't build everything like as a software engineer. You know, you can be very good coder, but also there's something we call, you know, engineering cost, right? You are being paid in a month to build stuff for a company, and so we cannot be waiting for you to be building literally everything. You need to be smart to be able to pick up a tool like, you know, Power Automate, like Zapier, and automate the process for the company, right? Super important. Also with customer experience and satisfaction, I do remember when the marketing team came to me and they were like, hey, so I do remember when the marketing team came to me and they were like, hey, we actually saw this particular company and they were doing their, I think they were actually in, let's see, yeah, they hadn't launched yet, right? And so basically they were on wait list. And so they were like, okay, we actually want you to build a flow just like these people. What it has to do basically is that people should be able to scan a link or click on a link. It takes them to WhatsApp, connect them to a chatbot. That chatbot, you know, interacts with them. Like, welcome, what's your first name? They enter first name, last name, they enter. And then it asks them their email, they enter. Then I should automatically register these people, just like they would have gone to maybe our website.com and registered. And then they receive an email, and then we just have an account from WhatsApp, right? And so I had to build that. But then again, my engineers were only 3, and I can't stress them, because they already had tasks they are handling for the month and stuff like that. And so I had to quickly look for, you know, quick ways that I could build this. and I had to resort to low code and no code platform. There was one that I used, it's called Chatways, right? It simply allows you to connect your Facebook account and stuff like that, and then you are done. Yeah, you just build like drag and drop, process, and then you just build your WhatsApp bot, and people can interact with it, register, send an API request, capture them in your database, and you're through. So up until I left the company, the engineers never knew how to build stuff like that. They could build, WhatsApp and assign to them, but mostly I was just, taking out most of the little stuff that can, so that I prevent them from the noise in the company. Also, you could save time. It's very important that you are able to note that this thing, if I have to build it, it will take 3 weeks. If I use low code platform, to just take about 5 minutes or 10 minutes and I'm done, right? And don't do great service to the company, right? Just because you want more pay and then you're not getting doesn't mean you should be punishing, right? You should leave there and go to another job. That's the thing. But then also choose, tools that can really help, save time in the company. Then the last one is recognition and spotlight. See, there's one thing. I didn't make money by chance, right? It was deliberate attempts of building a recognition. Today they introduce me and they say I'm an MVP. I was this, I was that, right? And it also means that I've actually built a lot of network. Like I know people, right? And sometimes the people I know isn't the big guys that you think about. It's just you, and you know how good I am, right? Before they mention anything, you mentioned Dawood. On campus it was more like when you get tech, you get Dawood. Like my name and tech goes together. You get idea. And so you need to build reputation that people can recommend you. Like once something drops, opportunity comes, you should be the first that people should think about, right? So using stuff like Power Automate and low-code tools to build solutions. The end goal is to build solutions that really solve people's problem. On campus, when I contested for an election, I won like 90%, right? I beat my opponent flawless. The reason was that I was super good, right? And it wasn't about code, plenty and stuff like that. I knew the right tools to use, right? For example, people really wanted to find their group members. Over 5,000 people. They wanted to know that okay, my group member is this guy and this guy. And when they are traveling together, they can plan their trip, right? What I did is simply create a Google Forms or Microsoft Forms, allow people to register, put in their name and then the group number they were assigned to. And when everyone was done entering, the data, it was about 600. I still have the 600 students emails, right? I just used Excel to sort them out, and then I could get okay, this person said it's group 1, another person said it's group 1. Group all the group 1 together, put it in a WhatsApp page, let them find themselves, right? Because now you have their phone number, you have their emails and stuff, you're connecting them together. And this was a killer, feature that people were really excited about. Sorry. So these are very important. And so, I just want to show you one demo, right? When I see problems, I hate the way they look, right? And so I try to find solutions. And so in my house, how many of you pay water bill? I don't know. Or they still pay for you? It's okay, fine. But how many of you pay water bill, right? So in my apartment, we pay water bill. And it's so annoying how these people pay the water bill, right? They always have to, you need to send your water bill, 35 cedis. Once you are done, then you will be like, hey, you message the person and say, hey, I'm done paying my water bill. This is the screenshot, and stuff like that, or this is the name I use. Then the person will check and tell you that, okay, yes, you actually paid for the water bill, right? Now, one thing that happens is that I remember that, after 6 months time, the lady was like, hey, Dawood, can you send the message where you said you paid for the water bill? I couldn't find the message. It means that 35 cedis. So basically, I wanted a flow that can really help us track, and be transparent with each other, right? And when this lady is done, she will edit an Excel sheet and and she'll drop the Excel sheet in the WhatsApp group. And all of us will look at the WhatsApp group. If you find your name there, it means the lady said you paid. So, how do we automate something like this, right? I didn't want to just tell you something that is, mind-busting about creating an API and stuff like that. Let's just look at a simple way. You living in a house, how can you build tools to just help your tenants and stuff like that, or your co-tenants, right? And then just ease their life. Now, once you're able to do this, everyone living in the house, whether they are 100 or something, they know you are a tech expert, right? The next opportunity that drops in their workplaces, in their schools, when they are in park, when they are interacting with other people in events, and then someone be like, I really wish I had this thing done for me. They'll be like, hey, talk to that guy, right? And so let's quickly build something to just demonstrate that. So I created what we call, how many of you know Microsoft Forms? Let me see you by hand. Microsoft Forms. Okay, how about Google Forms? Google Forms. All right, cool. Yeah. So Google Forms, Microsoft, Forms are the same. Yeah. So all you need to do is to just go to whether Google Form or Microsoft Forms, and then be like, okay, I want this particular field for every attendee, their first name, last name, email. When you are going to generate a link and send it to a group, a WhatsApp group, or maybe you just create a QR code scanner, people scan, they find it from they fill it, right? So that's what we are going to do. Step number 1, create a Microsoft Forms. I'm done creating it already, so I'll just show it to you how it works.
Thank you. I mean, it's amazing to be part of this. My name is Sano Kojo Isu, and I lead the business development and marketing team of Endpoint. Basically, I'm not a developer, or I'm going to tell you a funny story. I did accounting in school, so I mean, there is the receiver, credit, the giver, those things, balance sheet and all that. But when I was doing accounting, I knew that I couldn't even imagine working as an accountant. And I think that is where the business side of me started coming out. Because most of the time we think within a box and we close ourselves. I'm an accountant. So I asked myself a simple question. Who was I before accounting? Accounting, I did it for 4 years in university, for example. So I was asking myself, so from age 1 to age 18, who was I before accounting? And I was a storyteller, I was a joker, I was a different kind of guy. So I then took myself out that, okay, what if I didn't go to school? Would I have succeeded? That's the mindset I came up with. And I think it helped me a lot. So I finished accounting. Oh, thank you. Sure, thanks. So I finished the accounting course and I started a business. So business all the way. And when I say business, most times people think the smart people do business. I think the hungry ones do it, basically. If you're hungry, do it, sure for it. Yeah, so that is the inspiration that led us to one point. So I have a business, and let me say it, I mean, over the last 5 years as a sales guy, I have in Ghana cities sold over 5 million Ghana cities of business revenue. And then recently, when I started selling in USD, by God's grace, we are close to almost $1 million in just 10 months. So I'm the sales guy. I don't talk your language plenty. But in COVID, I realized that tech is no good this guy. Even when you call your tech friends, they have all the money. So I started an Excel, and in 10 months, COVID period, I realized that okay, let me be a tech boy. So let me say this before I start. The truth is, not all of us can be the tech guys. It's not about the skill, it's about the personality. Okay, I can program a bit. I'm good at VBA, Excel. I did some products to sell, right? And I taught Excel for long. But when I sit behind the computer for long, Charlie, I'm tired. And then let me say a funny story. I worked with a company and the Excel guy, the Power BI guy was being paid at that time $1,500. When I converted it, Charlie, I'm calling you going every month. So I was like, Charlie, let me up myself in this skill and then get the job done. Because at that time, even though I was selling, I'm not getting 1,500 USD. Until I tried it for 3 months and I realized that Charlie, destiny changed, that this is not me. And when I move to my path selling and building business markets, I mean, I can say for now I earn more than that guy by God's grace. So it's about doing what you learn the skill, but it should be something you love. Build the love. And the truth is, love can be learned. A typical example, you left your ex, you love another person, you learned it. So love can be learned. But you have one step my issue. Alright, so we use Microsoft products in our company, and we sell Microsoft products, but we specialize in Business Central. So at the moment, I'm really looking for a Business Central developer, and the truth is we pay very well. So if you are, I mean, where is that would, okay, yeah. So if you know any Business Central developer, please recommend them to us. Thank you. So on point, it's simple. When it got the name on point, when I'm going to Google story, on point fishes, we say, hey, our company let on fish, not kind of thing. But the reason for on point is, I mean, whatever we seek to do, we try to make sure that it is done, like on point. And we're not serving our customers. So we have customers in 6 countries: Ghana, Nigeria, Malta, Czech Republic, and Malaysia. So somebody will ask why we have those customers and we're here in Ghana. I was explaining it when we closed. Alright, so basically, okay, guys. In the whole of West Africa, we are the only gold solutions partner of Atlassian. How many of you know Atlassian? Okay, you remember when Dawood was saying, he mentioned what tools that developers use to work, like Asana, you know. Atlassian is the biggest when it comes to that industry. We have this product called Jira. I get Jira. People don't really like Jira, right? Yeah, but the truth is, it's the best. I mean, that's the truth, right? And so we are the only gold solutions partner in West Africa at the moment. But our current focus is Ghana and Nigeria, and we have clients coming all the way from Cambodia, so that is on point. We are the Atlassian partner, so Atlassian has this many products. Now they look at Agile, DevOps, and currently they are looking at ITSM. There's a lot of buzz around Agile, right? Everybody wants to be Agile. When I say Agile, I think it's efficiency. You all want to be efficient. You don't have to be a tech person to be Agile. Even as a student, you can be Agile at your time. Let me give you an example. The students here. I mean, the degree you are going to school for 4 years, right? Some people come to school on Saturdays, Sundays, and they have the same degree, 440. So, if you spend 4 years, Monday to Sunday, and somebody comes Saturday to Sunday, and at the end of 4 years, they have the same certificate. So, they walk out 2 years. True. So, when I realized that in school, for example, I realized that no, Agile, the long and short of Agile is maximizing the time, being time conscious. So Atlassian produces or releases products like Jira Online, Jira Software, and then they move into Bitbucket for the developers to manage their code repositories and all that. Status Page is a new product, very good for developers. And my favorite is Jira Service Management. So Jira Service Management is simple. How do you ask support from your team member or employees? How do your customers ask you for support? So Atlassian has a platform that makes it easier, and it's free for up to 3 to 10 agents. So if you have a small startup, you can implement all this for free. And have a very connected, unified platform to it. It syncs very well with Microsoft. That is why we took it upon us to come to this program. All right. So my daily routine, you can see me every day of my life. About 5 hours is meetings and calls. Okay, I know some of you program, let me say one funny thing about the developers. When you see their status, it's as if they work on crowd. When someone they have to go on match, hey, you say, hey. Everyone say, hey, can you testify? When you see developers, their WhatsApp status and all that, it's as if they are not part of us. Even if they are posting a meme, it's different. Yeah. So, those of us who are not developers, fortunately, we just talk. Let me just take the opportunity to, I came with some of my team members. This is Power Platform Bootcamp. He manages our LinkedIn marketing. At one point, you have just somebody to market LinkedIn. But you enjoy it for LinkedIn. As I say, I'm just joking. Yeah. So, my daily routine, I just spoke to business leaders, and somebody will ask, this guy is not a developer. Why software? Okay, I'm not a developer, but I like results. I like problem solving. So my job is to understand the problem very well and to be able to communicate the solution to the customers. So at least every day I make what I forward, talking to every kind of person, from developers to team leads to scrum masters to CIOs. I mean, recently, let me give you a joke. People think I'm very connected with the banking industry. No, it's just that I thought that's my job. I listen to a lot of CIOs, and from that conversation, I can summarize what they are thinking and what I think is happening. Okay, so that's my job. Every day I talk. After talking to the CIOs, I call my technical team and say, this is what they say. I think this is what they want. So that is my job. And I'm an IT guy. So just that I like the money part. How many people like the money part of IT? Raise your hands. I mean, let me be frank. If you don't like IT, like it. Because for the first time, sometimes you can sit at meetings and they are discussing $6 million. Hey, Charlie, I mean Ghana here, not outside Ghana. That is, so the industry is really, really, really a blessing. Alright, so these are stories I hear every day. Like, they want to track work across multiple projects. I won't mention it. There's always work going on. People are requesting for stuff. But to the stakeholders of the business, what is important to them is the visibility of what is happening. How many of you have had the experience where you have team members, but you don't know what work they are doing? Sometimes you look back 3 months, 6 months, and you're like, what has been done? You know, so it's one major problem I hear from the CIOs. They want to manage customer requests, customers are coming. Integrations and automations, that's where I like the developers, because every company, this is what I've seen, every company is trying to have a unified platform where they can integrate all other products they have on one simplified platform. So basically that's cloud migrations. This is something I want to say. The cloud market, even in Africa, Nigeria alone, is estimated to be around $10 billion by 2025. Most of the business, most of the softwares the organizations use, enterprise organizations use, are moving away from the server. And so there's become a high kind of demand on cloud migrations. And so if you are AWS, cloud, those kind of people, they are getting money. It's boyfriend area, please stay close. Or below engine. I'm just saying, but if you want to also look at the place to look at, it's a very, very good place to look at. And then analytics. So this is what I hear every day. Okay, and then the reason is because after COVID, you guys see that one common word became normal: uncertainty. I mean, everybody's uncertain about what's about.
Is disconnected.
You know the point. And it is not even just about the uncertainty; it's about the pace. It's coming. I mean, every single day there's different stuff. So COVID, came to change things, and then everybody can bear witness that remote work has actually made so much sense after COVID. And now people even have the guts. You find a national service person asking you that is the job remote or national service, a battery, no remote. I mean, unless you can. So, that's the age. I mean, but to be frank, people work remotely most times. And how many of you agree that remote workers work more than those who go to the office? It's actually true. Sometimes you start work 1 a.m. and you close 1 a.m. And because it's remote, so most of the things you didn't work. So companies are looking for solutions that are faster and basically sustainable. And that is what our point is all about. That is what we help companies do. But today I'm not here to sell to you. I'm here to say that, okay, guys, let me be frank, come at all. When you go, just follow our website on point, talk to somebody at one point. If a company is looking for project management solutions, ITSM means IT service management, even if it's a small team, let's talk on point. We'll be wrapping up very soon. Alright, so I don't want to talk about this, guys. I've said it. There's a lot of business disruptions in today, and this is where the advice comes in to the students. The truth is, be very, very, very strategic in your thinking. It's the key. And let me give you this advice to those non-IT people. What try, in fact, Python, in fact, React, in fact, even WhatsApp, in fact. Let me see. Don't worry. Tell your neighbor, don't worry. Be happy. But the point is, if you keep working with developers, let me give you the truth, and they're always talking, and you are not getting it, big time. I want to ask you, especially if they get alert. That's the truth. So change it. No. Look at the other side of the ecosystem. Every business is digital now. True or false? every business. I was with some US guys, and then the question came up that one of them mentioned that is it compulsory for them to be digital as people? They are not really IT guys. I'm like, in our generation, you cannot say I'm not really IT guy. Can you believe that? Everything is digital. You don't have to have the skill, maybe technical skill, but you have to have the cognitive skill to think around the solution in an IT way. So if you are trying the coding and it's not happening, even Power Automate as well, you don't have to be a developer to know Power Automate. No, that is it. So be strategic in your thinking. All right. Let me just summarize my coming back as well. Yes. So in summary, this is what Point is offering. 3 things. We have something called Start on Point. Okay, it's a gift to all startups. You know, by faith, grace, adon, and hard work, we work with a lot of corporate firms. I mean, from banking sector to the big food processing companies you think of. And then we know what systems they use, and we are also positioned to give them some of the systems. And what we have seen is that most startups sometimes start without having structured guidance when it comes to systems. So what Start on Point means is that, you know what, as a startup, we are giving you some free tools and giving you some consult for free when it comes to your system implementation. So if you have any startup guy, I mean, we will launch this soon. So like Start on Point, start with the right product, start with the right network, let them help you build your data culture and go with it. So basically that is Start on Point. And we are looking at 3 areas: teams, sales, and accounting. We have products that cast across this, but moreover, we have the expertise, and I would say we have the people network that can help you. For example, how many I can teach a startup, for example, how to make 100,000 sales in 10 months? This is not a YouTube video. It's not a trick, like it's the hard work. You know, I can. So we have a lot of consultants who are trained on how to get the sale. Because the point is, sales is a feeling issue. Sales are feelings. Don't remember, sales are feelings.
Sales are feelings.
Yeah. Or you don't agree? If you feel it's good, you buy. Have you not noticed? One hour, I go to feel like I might die by this. Burkina, the first time I bought Burkina, I was a feeling. Okay, I told me. I have not tried it. I was okay. Feeling they made fine. You talk to face, I'm a ground. Hallelujah. So that's a sales. It's a feeling, and we can humbly guide startups. I personally got to startups 5 years. I've started up 3 companies myself. I have failed 4 years. You know, so I can tell you what you should not do. So that's what Start on Point is about. And we have accounting and finance. So let me say this: we are in partnership with a Baptiste branch and a Czech Republic branch, and they have 20 years experience in European finance. So we bring that leverage on helping companies in terms of European finance. If you're excited about Start on Point, let me see your hand, please. I mean. I have this stuff one way, web developer. Start business manual. I'm just joking. But if you start from point to something you want to roll out, if you have a startup, it's free and then you can get going. Alright, and this is it. Atlassian community just got launched in Accra. Myself and one other friend called Graces, we are the community leaders. And what the community seeks to do is to get people to talk. Okay, so I think on the 14th March we are having our first virtual event, and we are going to discuss remote or weekday house, weekday work. We are going to talk about remote work. We are partnering with KPMG. Ideas to let them talk about. Now we want to discuss remote work and how organizations can adapt it and how workers can approach it. So this is a community I will advise all of us to join. You know, if you want to join, it's simple. I'm at the back. I mean, we take your contacts. If you want to join, it's simple. It's not really about massive product. Last 2 weeks in Austria, they have this community event on how Power BI integrates with Jira. So it's an open platform to everybody. If you want to learn networking, if you want to meet big men like Shadi and Dawood, please join me. And then the 3 objectives is to network, grow, and deliver value. That is why the Atlassian community in Ghana is actually being established. I won't talk much. Let's talk now. When you see me, feel free. I'm not the tech guy. I'm the guy who likes to sell. And I'm going, who cut the tongue? I saw someone saw doing accounting. At least started doing home tech. And then I'm joking, but it's nice. So that is all about On Point. We are here to serve the African community. So talk to somebody about us. On our LinkedIn profile is On Point Africa. Please follow us. let's talk. You know, a minute, take your phone. Please just go to LinkedIn and then follow on Power Africa. Instagram to the same thing on Power Africa. If when you just say we can send Kaka on 7 and they follow CCR, tell me about follow. So that is all about us. Thank you so much for your time. We are happy to be part of this and continually to bring our support. Thank you so much. If you follow, see me for points. Amen.
So as a data analyst, you always have to understand the user that you are working with. What kind of information do you need? Then you provide information on your dashboard, but you cannot anticipate all the questions that they want to ask. So using Q&A, you provide the users with an option where they can ask questions about the data, and they'll be able to get the information or the insight that they want without calling you to come. So maybe you have developed a report for a client or your boss. Now your boss wants to see a different thing. Now your boss will always have to call you to come and do it. By using Q&A, which is AI-powered visualization in Power BI, the user can ask questions using natural language. They'll be able to get a feedback in the form of a visualization. And that's one of the ways that you can also help your business. With this Q&A, I can ask any question, and it will give me the feedback. So let's see an example. Now, immediately you ask the question, you see that it has returned the response. Did you see that? Show orders by country. Now, this is the response it has returned. Let me ask a different question. Show profits by product. Now, you see that it has returned the result here. Now, it's showing the profits by product. So, just using natural language, you can ask questions about your data. And Power BI using AI and machine learning is going to provide an insight in the form of a visualization. With this one, I can even tell Power BI the kind of chart that I want it to show. So I will say show profit by product on pie chart. I see that it has showed the result in the form of a pie chart. So here when you develop a report, seriously, like you can't anticipate all the questions your boss or your police are going to ask about the data. So using this Q&A, you can provide them with additional options where they can actually query the data themselves and get the kind of information that they need. So in just using this Q&A, I can develop a full dashboard without doing everything manually. I can just be asking the questions, and I'll use it to build my report. So within just a few minutes, you can even build a dashboard. So with this one, I can then convert it into a chart. So I just have to click on this. And this becomes a chart. Then I can add another Q&A. And with this one, I want orders by country on a map. Now this has given it to me. So now using the Q&A, you can see that now it has given us a map with all the orders per country. So this is also another way that you can use in providing amazing experience